Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Disney Dining Show. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by my good friends, Mr. Sean Falk, Charles Boda.
Hello.
Steve Porter.
Hello.
And off camera, back in the production nook, Rhino Clavin and Craig Williams. So this week we're going to talk about another restaurant that historically is not considered very good. Nine Dragons over in Epcot's World Showcase Pavilion, the China Pavilion. But before we get too far in, let's go ahead and watch the vlog that we recorded during our meal. So, this restaurant is reviled by so many people. It gets so many bad reviews. So whenever I come in here, the last experience I had here was actually quite good. But that was a few years ago. So we'll have to try it again. My appetizer, as I grabbed the menu, because I can't remember what it's called, I had the Sichuan dumplings, which are chicken dumplings steamed with a chili oil sauce. And you can tell them if you want it just a little spicy or very spicy. I went for a little spicy. I had to tell you, it was excellent. $13 gets you 5 dumplings. Really well prepared, delicious. So far we're off to a good start.
Okay, for the appetizer, I had the Shanghai Xiaolong Bao, which I'm probably not pronouncing correctly. But for $10, you get 6 steamed pork soup dumplings with the house dipping sauce. And this one takes like extra preparation, so whereas everybody else's stuff was out really quickly, this one is like a 15-minute wait, and it is very much worth it. Had to ask before they came because we were kind of confused by what steamed pork soup dumplings mean, and there's soup inside the dumpling, and it comes with the dipping sauce as well. But texturally, it is really, really good. You bite into it one bite, and there's soup in there, and it's just, it's really fun to eat. It's very, very tasty. And as far as all the appetizers that we had, I would easily put it as the top, personally. So next time I'm here, I will definitely get the same thing again, and it is worth the extra wait if you really want a fun appetizer to have. So definitely gets high marks from me.
Okay, I got the pot stickers. So just plain appetizer pot stickers. They are fried, and so they're not steamed or anything. They were pretty good. It wasn't anything to write home about or any special reason to come here, but it's $7 and you got 4 of them. So actually I think the stuff that Pete and Charles got were my favorites. But the pot stickers are great if you have like a picky eater or you're afraid of the spicy or anything like that. I don't like spicy, but their stuff was really good even though it was spicy. So I don't recommend the pot stickers because there's better things. So.
Okay, so I got the pork belly bao bun for $10. I'm on like a pork belly kick right now. I had it at Flying Fish, and I've had it at the Food and Wine Festival recently, so I wanted to try it, and it did live up to the expectations of what I hoped it would be. Of course, it's not as good as Flying Fish, but that's a signature restaurant, so it's not even comparable. But still really good. I think for $10 it was well worth it. It still melts in your mouth, and overall, there's a little bit of a kick to it. They have a sauce on top. It's a sweet chili sauce that goes on top, so it gives a little bit of a spiciness. But overall, I thought it was really good. I'd definitely get it again.
Okay, so I had the honey sesame chicken, which is a pretty common dish that you're going to find in pretty much any Chinese restaurant. And it was good, but it's a pretty common dish. $18, it's on the expensive side. But it was good. That's what I can say about it. It wasn't terrible at all. It was really well prepared, lightly breaded, fried. But it's honey garlic or honey sesame chicken. So that's all I can say about it.
Okay, so I got the roast duck salad, which I don't know how much of it is that the meal wasn't great and how much is that I just didn't pick something that really suits me. It's roast duck, mixed greens, golden raisins, walnuts, scallions, and hoisin dressing. And the dressing was a bit too sweet. I think other people tried it and liked it, but not really my thing. Also, the raisins and walnuts should have been a big red flag to me, and I didn't really see it. But the duck was all right. It was a little bit dry and a little bit heavy. All duck is fatty, but like as far as like fat pieces and stuff like that I kind of had to take out of my salad. I just was not a huge fan. Now, it does run on the low end, so it was only $16, and this might not be suited just to me, so if you're in the mood for a salad, like an actual salad as far as things go, you might like it, but it doesn't get like resounding applause from me. So, you know, it could be your thing, but I don't think it's going to wow anybody. You're not going to be over impressed with it. So, that was my take.
Okay, I also got the honey seared chicken, just like Pete did. It's $18. I really like it. But I just really like Chinese food. I love honey sesame and like that kind of stuff. Orange chicken. I'm very basic with that. So I mean, I think it's perfect for people who don't like spicy, who don't like getting too adventurous with like going into duck and these other types of things. So I think it's really good. I don't really know how much further $18 would carry you at one of the other restaurants, but if you happen to be here and you're just like Chinese isn't my thing, that's the safest bet to go with is honey seared chicken. So.
Okay, so I got the Nine Dragons fried rice. $16 is a traditional fried rice. You got broccoli, carrots, ham, and I wasn't overly impressed. I think you could probably get this at your local Chinese restaurant. So for $16, this is a bit pricey, I think, just for what it was. I would highly recommend, from the experience that we've had, that if I came back, I would probably just get maybe 2 appetizers instead of an entree, just because I felt like many of our appetizers were really great, and get that as a substitute for your entree. So that's probably what I'll do next time.
Okay, so roundly trashed, and I'm right there with everybody. This restaurant has never been one of the big ones in terms of popularity. There are people who do like it, but generally speaking, most people don't. And that's because it really is an overpriced version of what you get at home. Generally speaking. Now, the last time we did a review, I think it was you and I, Craig, along with John and Kevin, wasn't it? A couple of years ago? And we gave it good marks. So we were surprised by how good it was. And here again, for the most part, had a pretty decent meal. So I did the Sichuan dumplings, which were $13 as an appetizer. And I did, what the heck did I do for my...
Honey sesame chicken.
The honey sesame chicken. For my entree, which was $18. And the dumplings were out of this world. They were outstanding. I was really shocked at how good they were. The sesame chicken was sesame chicken. It was okay. But what about you, Charles? What were your thoughts?
My appetizer was great. I really enjoyed it. I don't remember the exact name. It was soup dumplings, something like that.
Yeah, it was Shanghai Zolong, blah, 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 blah. Steamed pork soup dumplings with a house dipping sauce at $10.
Ah, there we go.
They were dim sum. It
Yeah.
was dim sum.
That was phenomenal. I like the texture. I like the flavor, the soup inside of it, out of all the appetizers.
Yeah, that's what they did. Like when you get dumplings in your soup and it's the little pieces of pork, it's like they just took some of that soup and the pork and put it into a dumpling and...
Yeah. So, it came with its own dipping sauce if you wanted to add to it. I kind of liked it just fine without the sauce. The funny thing, though, is that they're very slippery because it's soup inside of a dumpling. So watching us all fumble around with chopsticks to try and pick them up, and look authentic was probably hilarious to any outside observers. But I really enjoyed it. Once again, when it came to the entree, I got the duck salad, and it wasn't impressive. Mine was on the low end. It was $16 for that. And even on the low end, I think that it was probably overpriced. It just wasn't overly flavorful. It wasn't necessarily the kind of thing I'd normally order, but I love duck.
That was, mixed greens, golden raisins, walnuts, scallion, and hoisin dressing.
Mm-hmm. And then there's another thing about this place that nobody else will gripe about but me. I have a remodeling experience, construction experience, and I am a bathroom enthusiast due to how much coffee I drink. They had the worst tile job in this bathroom, and anybody else who's done remodeling or construction, when they walk in this bathroom, it will drive you insane. Just Disney does a really good job about this stuff, so it sticks out like a sore thumb. I know I'm crazy for bringing it up, but I'm still thinking about it days later. Just terrible tile job in there. But this place had some really good elements. I loved my appetizer. I will get that every single time I go. But as far as an overall experience, I'm not rating it super high. So, yeah.
What about you, Sean?
Okay, I love this restaurant. This is like, I'm the one who picked it. I'm like, oh, this is where I like this place. I think it's really good, but I love Asian food. I love Chinese food specifically. I think it's good. I tried pretty much everyone's appetizers, and I thought everything was great. My appetizer was the pot stickers, and they were kind of plain. Like, I'll give it that one.
Yeah, they're the pan-fried ones, too, so I don't like them. I like them steamed.
Yeah, the dumpling, or whatever, the pot stickers didn't do too much for me, but they're a good, like, safe choice for people. Like, if you got kids or something, you can just split that or whatever. So,
and this was pan-fried chicken and vegetable dumplings with a soy dipping sauce, $7.
Yeah, so that wasn't too bad, but, I mean, I think the food's great. Like, I like the atmosphere. I like China stuff anyway.
We had a wonderful server,
Yeah,
too.
our server was great. Her name was like Yi Ni or something.
Yeah, Yi Ni, yeah.
Something. And she was great. Yeah, she was really cool. So I liked that. I enjoy that part of the experience and everything. I'm super biased towards this restaurant, though, so I don't know why. I don't have a childhood memory here. I don't have.
You just like it.
I just really like it. I'll always pick Chinese food if you give me the option of what food to pick. That's what I'm always. So I'm like biased towards it. So now I know how those people are that are like, I love Electric Umbrella, and everyone's like, white wine.
Nobody says that.
So, like,
nobody says that.
And so you're just looking at them like, what do you mean? Like, that's not great. That everything. But for me, this restaurant's great. So,
Steve, what about you?
So I had the braised pork belly steam bao bun for $9.
Which were delicious.
They were really good. It had, just pork belly in the bao, and it had like a chili aioli sauce on top, which was a little spicy. So, you have to like the spice on top. But I would definitely get that again. And then I had the Nine Dragons fried rice for $16 essentially. And it was just fried rice. It was overpriced fried rice in my opinion. I think like what I said in the vlog is so true, is that I feel like all of our appetizers are really good. And if I were to do it again, I would just have me and my friends or you guys, I would suggest that we just do it tapas style and just get a bunch of the appetizers.
Well, I noticed that the appetizer menu seemed to be a little more adventurous. Not stuff I normally would see on a menu at a Chinese restaurant, whereas the entrees were a lot more common.
Yeah.
Things that, honey sesame chicken, stuff like that is stuff you're going to find at your local Chinese restaurant. So I think your point is really well taken that I would do the same thing. I'd go back and just order a bunch of appetizers and still have a really good meal and not, I think that is where the disappointment with this restaurant comes in, is that, okay, I can get honey sesame chicken at my local Chinese restaurant, and it's really good because we all love our Chinese restaurant is the best. And so, we kind of compare it to that, and then we say, okay, and it's half the price there. It doesn't cost me this much. I think that's where this, more than any other restaurant in World Showcase, that's where this suffers.
And I also think that your lasting impression is probably the last thing you had. So a lot of people probably leave this place forgetting about how great their appetizer was because they said, "Oh, well, I just overpaid for honey chicken, or I just overpaid for fried rice." So that's your lasting impression, is the thing that you're disappointed with because it's your entree.
Yeah.
And of course, that feeds into a larger narrative with Disney World that, everything's overpriced, everything's so expensive. And look, I had this, Chinese food I could have gotten at home for half the price. So I think, one of the ways to avoid that is there are things on this menu that are unique. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I'd never had Sichuan dumplings before. This is they're chicken dumplings with a chili oil sauce, and you can have them either not too spicy or more spicy. I chose not too spicy. Had a little bit of a kick to it, but not bad at all because I can't do like really hot food. That pork belly bao bun you had was
delicious.
Again, it was incredible. Those dumplings, I can't pronounce that. You pronounced it well when you ordered it.
When I was reading, I could. But I think that's where they do suffer, though, is that set a really high bar with the appetizers, that I was expecting that with the entrees when they came in. And they're safer meals, but because the appetizers were so, unique. They were kind of regular things in a way, dumplings, dim sum, pot stickers, whatever.
But done creatively.
But they were done very creatively. And so I thought that would translate to the entrees, and when it didn't, my hopes were a little dashed. And I think that's what lowered my overall view of the place.
And I think that's what it suffers from the most. But scale of 1 to 10, what are you going to give this restaurant?
Overall, entrees included, I'm going a 6.5, maybe.
Steve?
Entrees included, it's a 6, but if just on the appetizers, I would say an 8.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's an 8 for me because I just like this.
It's all right.
But I actually will say, if I were going to do it again, I did like the appetizers better than the entree. So, and if I just still wanted the entree, they have at the quick service for China, I think it's orange chicken and not honey sesame chicken, but it's really good outside, and I think it's like $9 maybe for like an entree portion. I think it may even be bigger than what we got in the restaurant. So I might get an appetizer inside and then settle for going at the quick service booth and getting the chicken that I would have got inside, because I think it's the same chicken if I recall correctly. So I mean, that's another option as well for people, but it is the outside booth is good too, or whatever. Even compared to the restaurant. So,
and I think I'm with you on overall 6.5. But if I was doing just the appetizers, it would be a solid 8.
Yeah,
because they were delicious, and of course, like I said, the service was fantastic. She was awesome. And now this is twice now we've I've done this restaurant and not walked out going ugh. So this is a more positive review. The last one we did was a more positive review. So would encourage people to take a chance. I don't know that I would risk, my one meal in World Showcase to be this. But if you've been before and you're open to something maybe that you dismissed, like this restaurant, go ahead and give it a try and pay special attention to these appetizers because they were magnificent. So that will do it for this episode of the Disney Dining Show. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back with you again next week. Have a great week, everybody.